Top Morning Laddies, my name is Chaz, and welcome to the What If Deku who became the Krypton. I know that you'll probably be like, what's what are you gonna do? Well, the full name of it is What If Deku Became Infinity Krypton and has Doomsday's powers. So, yeah. But it's actually called Infinity Krypton. Yeah. Eh. So, Zuko, and reason why I'm doing this again before I got into this, I had interruption. So, yeah. So, basically, yeah. So then, now, oh, the, we, I am sorry, for not doing this earlier, but yeah. So, Zuko, in this what if, or in this alternate timeline, whoever's quirkless is now go right to their deaths. Basically, go right to the black hole and get absorbed. Because what they believe is a possibility of the quirkless has better chance to survive in the black hole. But they're wrong. It's my opinion, is they're wrong. Because nothing can survive it. So, and the person that wants that was actually this young girl named Raven. Not Ravenclaw, what if, because I know by his tone of voice is a guy, so yeah. So, and Zuko and Zumi, some of the parts might have Zumi in, because I'm not gonna include her in like going to another planet or anything like that. Oh no. She is gonna be in canon. So of My Hero Academia. Like she gets one for all and all that stuff. But well, she has a quirk. You see. So she is not qualified to go onto that rocket ship with her brother. And yeah. Her brother, her sorry. Oh, sorry. Her brother was basically a suitable candidate. But he wasn't just born quirkless. He was born with a unique ability of, like, same thing as Doomsday, but on a whole nother level. And yes, when I say on a whole nother level, is basically if Zumi couldn't even stand up to her brother. Because his genetics allows him to age up faster than a normal person. Because usually, yeah. So so he gets into a rocket ship. He goes to the black hole, and the yeah. So Zuko, who is freaking out. Like he doesn't want to die at this young age. But then his ship got like crushed and exploded inside of black hole as everyone is crying. But Zuko was the only survivor. He never left, as he was in black hole for weeks, even years, as his body starts to adapt to it. As he goes in, he reaches in, or he sees a bright aura inside of a black hole. As he reached his hand out, took it, and he thought it was food as he ate it. And when he ate it, his body starts to react. Not in as his body starts to, his body starts to react to it as it doesn't destroy him. It's evolving his body into a more entity. Like his genetics is changing into a more suitable host. As he woke up on another planet. As a planet was named Krypton. The Krypton. It was way before. Heck, it was probably before. I'm trying to think of a name. Before Kryptonians inherit it. Well, there's this one girl named Miss Infinity. Okay. And yes, she was walking around in that world. As she finds him, as she's attracted to him, like she wants him to be her boyfriend, because she never felt love before. Because every time she fell in love with somebody, they ended up getting greedy with her. But this time is different. As she took him back to the lab, to her little laboratory. As she lays him down, as he gets up, or he wakes up in about a couple minutes, as he realized that he had handcuffs bolted down to his bed. As she turns around, she says this. So she ends up experimenting on him. Like, to make him what she imagined, a Kryptonian. But she didn't realize he was, yeah, so the rocket ship thing that I said was like that. And yeah, as she ends up like doing, hold on, there you go. So last couple weeks have passed as during all that time she experiments on him. And when we go back to where Zumi and she was doing like her classes, and yeah, she does like, yeah, so then she goes to UA and then all that stuff. But then now we go back to her as that weeks have passed. She turns him into, or she tried to turn him into a brainless brute of like a Doomsday Zuko, or Doomsday. But then something else changed in his body. Because he was actually supposed to look like that. But it instead made a that. Because they did, or she didn't know that he actually has Doomsday powers as his own. And so he also, or she also gave him the Earth's spirit thing, as when he ingests it, his body starts to react to it again, or react. As his body starts to, now he went from being like that to being a Krypton, yeah, or Infinity Krypton, yeah. But his body, or he didn't like, because he had powers of black hole thing that transformed him, or his, or sorry, it transformed into zero. So it went into it with like the black hole part. Also had two things going. It transformed into zero, and it also gave birth to a new type of species. In order to eject it, it came out of Zuko's mouth, like thrown up kind. Yeah, as when Zuko did through it gave birth to her. Yeah. She ends up becoming as she looks up at him, as she's because the power that he also possessed was aging. So he, because it's in his genetics, so he can age himself faster than an average human can. So she is now teenage here. About. She's about the same age as when he was only age of 4. Yeah. As, yeah. As Infinity understands, as he, as she, like, he, or she says this in her head of, he, or those humans, or that different species than Krypton, and or Kryptonians people are. As she turns her head to looking at him, as she says to him, the, what's your name? Him. As he looks at her, I am Zuko Midoriya. Oh. Huh. As his daughter that he gave birth to, out of his own mouth, starts calling him father because of that. Zuko Midoriya. You must be a first of your kind, because I could sense that you were born with this ability to adapt to different situations, aren't you? As he says, yes. I'm surprised that you could tell. It's your unique ability. Adapt. So you can adapt to any situation. But as he, or as she walks over to him, she puts her hand on his cheek as she wants to, like, give her power to him to make it, yeah. So then a couple more days have passed. She ends up getting married to him. Yeah. That's only, they were dating and then, yeah. So now, they both are now got married and had 2 kids, actually. Both of them, or no, actually, they had 3 kids. 1 boy, 2 girls. Yeah. So the 2 girls was her, Black Hole, or I was gonna name her Miss Dark. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So her name is now Miss Darkness, and Kryptonian, or Miss Kryptonian, And then yeah, and their son is called Anti-Life Equation. Yeah. And he is the most powerfulest person in the entire universe. And Zuko had powers of Superman's, like flight, heat vision, resistance, and all that stuff of a Kryptonian, except for the weakness. He doesn't have a weakness. I'm making him overpowered. Outward. Outward as a. It is similar to, like, Doomsday. If Doomsday and Superman had infused together. Yeah. Or all the Kryptons. So his heat vision is harder than like the entire planet, and then of like it's harder than 3,303 or actually yeah, suns put together. Like all their heat builds up into one massive one. Yeah, it is really hot. Yeah. And he could fly like a. He has a speed of. I'm trying to think. But he is way faster than Tenya, the Flash, or all the ones that have like Speed Force or Speed Quirks or anything. He could outrun them. Yeah, because he could even pass Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 3, Mark 4, Mark 5, Mark 6. Like all the way around. And plus, he also gets some traits from, like, because he adapts to different environments. He can. It also allows him, because of infinity, he can talk into many languages. Like he could talk French people, Chinese people, animals, you name it. He does that. Plus, his super hearing thing is like he can hear all the way from from another galaxy. Yeah, or another universe. That's why he is that overpowered. And he resistance. And I forgot to mention when her idea thing, like her, how long? Her idea was that because she knows that whoever's quirkless, whoever survives, proves that they have to keep going. But no one came back successful. There was no survivors. But there's also what she wants was whoever is quirkless can become her next date too. So yeah. but she didn't get a memo of what the, yeah. So Zuko asked them, if that's okay with them, to come back to, or go to his home world, as Infinity isn't like bound to that world, because that world, Krypton, or she didn't want to leave Krypton, but there was one thing. He told her that he can bring Krypton, as she says that's against the laws of the entire universe. Well, as he creates a exact copy of it, replaces the world. Oh, exact copy. So it wasn't like. So, yeah. So, he flies back to Earth, because he remembers where it is. As he flew all the way around, and some reason his stomach, like, because the Infinity and Zero and hit gave birth to also another girl. Yeah, to her. So he has one boy, 3 girls. That's 4, like, sons and daughters. Yeah. So they both went, or all of them went back to Earth. And let's say they came back to All Might versus All for One. As All Might is about to kill. Or no, not All Might. All for One is about to kill All Might. So, yeah. As All Might was down, like, all bloodied up, as Zuko saved in before, as he absorbs the attack. This is what he's supposed to look like. He absorbed All for One's attack. As All Might and All for One is surprised. And as he says, guess I made it back in one piece. As they didn't realize, or they didn't know who he is, so they asked, "Who are you?" "Oh, me? I'm just a Kryptonian." Man. As he flies all away, hits All for One, sends him flying, like sending him flying around, as he's flying around the entire planet. And he caught on All for One's head and slams him into the ground. Oh, he wasn't done. He even punched All for One to death. Like, he, what Doomsday he did in Injustice 1, that, like, he punched the his enemies to, like, through the Earth's crust. Yeah, that's what he did with, yeah. And he also used his laser attacks. He shoots a fire from his eyes, like obliterating All for One's arms. Even all the way to his chest, as All for One is like, now. As his regeneration comes back faster, working overtime, as he stops his laser attack, as he says, I hate to be a bearer of bad news, but you aren't coming back. As he puts his hand onto All for One's chest, as he absorbs All for One into, like, kind of like how black hole things destroy stuff. Well, he destroyed All for One. And as he gets up, or he looks up, as he puts his fists up in the air, because he wasn't dumb. He knew that is, yeah. So he wanted to know who he is, as no one expected, as he flies around with his 4 kids and one wife of his. Yeah. So basically, yeah. Just imagine having 4 your siblings, like brother and sister, or 4 kids that have superpowers, and they could, yeah. So they had to teach them the right way, and they were all the same age at age of 4. And Zuko took them to a quirk doctor. The his 4 kids and was at age of 4. So yeah. So then they do, like, their things, and yeah, they all had, they were quirkless, but but the government didn't get a memo of the entire black hole was completely erased, like someone just took it. And Zuko looks at his, like, daughter on her, as his daughter was Miss Black Hole. Miss M S dot Black Hole. Yeah, that's her name. So yeah, so she's was wondering Why is he looking at her like that? As he as, as he like walks up to her and like told her, or actually all of them, including the Infinity, wanted to know why that the wanted to know why they those people send other people to outer space for that black hole thing. And Zuko explains that thanks to the white-haired girl, people that don't have quirks are they have to who accept this mission. Have to, no matter what the cost. As he explains that they didn't get a memo of he took the black hole into my own body. And that's how you were born, Miss Black Hole. And she didn't, or her eyes widened because she didn't realize all of them were all those like poor innocent souls that had to be crushed to in order to get a reason why is because of so she ends up getting ending all that stuff. So but seeing as he explains what he did, as he did, or he told her, or told them that or he asked her, that adapt power ability? Yes. That I sensed from you, like, when we were on Krypton, you actually do have its soul in your body. So Krypton is now in you and Krypton are now a same being. So so he didn't realize that him and Krypton, the planet, is now infused together. So now he is now part of the planet, and the planet is part of him. Not bounding him to that planet where he was. So So he tells them that I adapted to that black hole's situation. And I reached in, I saw a blinding light, like a core, and I took it. And I was very hungry, so I ate it. As So basically, and all four kids have that ability of also mumbling, like in the So So then Zuko, was, or so they bought a house, or Infinity used her powers to like have infinite money. So they bought a mansion. Let's say that they bought a mansion for her, Zuko, and their 4 kids. That would be 4 plus 2 equals 6. So yeah, 6 like 6 rooms, because all apartment, or not apartment, the mansion, because, and they, so then one day, of course, she's still curious about this guy, Krypton man, because she never actually had a encounter with a life form before. So in order to, like, because she's also a rich girl, that she basically like owns the government thing. She wants to have a kid with a quirkless person that survives. Yeah. By going great lengths to obtain that. So, yeah. So then, now, yeah, so she goes over to Zuko's. It was his place. And I'll say it after. But please wait for part 2.